Hi everyone, it's Constantine, and I'm just making a quick video for you here to show you how to use our new QuickBooks Online integration. This has been completely rebuilt with significant changes. I think it's going to be just much easier to use and much more efficient overall. So what I've effectively done is I've created a whole bunch of test orders in here for Visa, Amex, MasterCard, check, cash, donation, a bunch of things so we have some data that we can see. And what I'm going to be doing is taking us step by step from the beginning on how to set everything up, and then I'm going to do an actual sync, and then I'm going to show you my test QuickBooks Online account so you can actually see what the journal entries look like when they get created. So the first thing we have to do is set up our QuickBooks mappings. So for that, you want to flip to the back end, and you want to go to Tools, System Setup, Advanced, and GL Accounts. So everything is in the same place as it was before, but as you can see, we've cleaned up quite a bit. We've removed a lot of extras here and made things just much easier to configure. So going from left to right, you want to start with your Sales tab. So when piping over your sales totals, you can do it a couple of ways. You can pipe over all sales just as one number, or you can separate your sales by different categories. So for simplicity's sake, I'm going to use all sales. So now what you want to do is you want to enter the number that matches the location in your chart of accounts where you want this amount to go. So typically, if you're doing all sales, you're going to use your sales of product income account. So I'm going to enter ID 54 over here, and I'm just going to save that. So now our sales are ready. If you want, you can also map your discounts in the same fashion. You can do an all discounts total, or you can break them apart by specific categories as well. I have not added any discounts to any of my sample sales for this demonstration, so I'm just going to leave these alone. Next, you want to go to your Tax Other tab, and you want to set up these here. So we're going to do our sales tax first. So we're going to type in tax. And this is typically going to be our sales tax payable, so that is ID 51. Next, we want our cost of goods sold. And in my case, that is ID 55. And you also want to enter your undeposited funds, which I know is ID 4. So these are important, obviously, not just for mapping taxes, but you want to do undeposited funds and cost of goods sold, because this will tie into other things later on, like inventory and even donations in some cases. So once you get those set up, you want to just save these as well. And finally, you want to do your payment methods. So once again, if depending on how you set up your QuickBooks account, each one of these can be mapped to a different location. The most common method, I think, is to push everything to simply just undeposited funds. So that's what I'm going to do in this case. So we're going to map all of our different payment methods over to the undeposited funds account, and we'll also do on account, and we're going to do donation, website sales I do not have. One word about donation here. What you're probably going to want to do with this is not map this to undeposited funds. More than likely, you're going to want to put this into your charitable contributions. So for donations, we're going to make this 413. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and save this. And we're pretty much done. So the main, you can leave discounts out. It's not a necessity. It's not required. But the three main areas that you must configure are your sales, your tax and other tab, and your payments. Once those are all set, you are ready to go. So we're going to close this out. Go back to Tools. We're going to go to Sync, and we're going to do our QuickBooks Online Daily Sync here. And as you can see, this panel has also been cleaned up. We removed a lot of the extra settings, select this, deselect that. Iris will do the majority of the work for you now automatically behind the scenes. So the only thing you need to do is select the dates or the date range that you want to execute. So all my sample sales are in for today, so we're just going to leave it as the second. And I'm just going to simply click Sync. And this should take roughly less than a minute. And we are done. So as you can see, it's going to update our last sync date and time here. So whenever you reopen this window, you will know exactly when you ran this last, which is very important. So with that being done, we're going to jump over to our browser. And this is my test QuickBooks Online account. I'm in the chart of accounts under undeposited funds. You can see that I'm completely blank here. But if I go ahead and I just refresh this screen now, we have our journal entries created. So here is the breakdown of all the different payment methods and things that we have mapped. But the nice thing about this is that if I click on any of these entries and I go to edit, you will see that they are all nicely grouped under one journal entry. So if I scroll down here, you can see that everything is nice and organized now. So we have all of our different payment methods here in the undeposited funds account that we specified. We have our total sales here. Okay, this is excluding tax, sales of product income for all sales. Here is our separated tax entry. And here is our donation that we set up. So just a much cleaner approach, just much more organized, and I think it's going to be much easier for your accountants to keep track of what's going on. So if you do have any questions in regard to this at all, please give us a call. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time.